equations can be written in the form of function notation, and basically what you do is replace the y with a letter, often it's f, and the variable x in parentheses, and then continue your equation to be what you started with. This is read as f of x equals 2x minus 8. And basically what it's saying is you have this function box, and the rule of the function is 2x minus 8. It's box f, and you're putting the variable x into the box, and you need to see what comes out. When you evaluate a function, you substitute the value in for the x. So in number 1 on your guided note sheet, f of x equals x plus 7. If you were to think of it like in elementary school, your teacher maybe showed you a box, and this was the rule of the box, or it was the rule of the function machine, and we're putting the number 5 into the machine. 5 plus 7 equals 12, so our output is 12. Letter B, we still have the same function box or the same rule, but this time we're putting something different into the box. If we put negative 1 into the machine, negative 1 plus 7 is 6. And letter C, same machine, same rule, something different we're inputting. Negative 3 in place of x plus 7 equals 4. Number 2, this function is called g of x. That just means the name of the box is called g. It still represents a function though. The rule of the box is 3x minus 8. G of 1 means we're putting 1 into the g machine. 3 times 1 is 3, minus 8 is negative 5. Same machine, we're putting negative 3 into the g machine. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, minus 8 is negative 17. And g of 0 means I'm putting 0 into the g machine. 3 times 0 is 0, minus 8, negative 8. Let's skip down to number 5 on your guided note sheet. H of x equals 3x squared plus 7. This just means the name of our box is called h, and we're substituting, or we're inputting negative 4 in for the x, but it is the h box. So in this case here, remember to follow order of operations always. Negative 4 goes in place of the x. So it would look like this if I were to write it out. Make sure you do the exponents first. Negative 4 squared is 16. 16 times 3 is 48, plus 7, 55. Letter B, I'm putting negative 2 in for the x. Negative 2 squared is 4. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 7 is 19. And I'm putting 0 in for x. 0 squared is 0. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 7 is 7. I'm going to really take my time to walk you guys through number 6 because this can be a very tricky one. And the thing that makes it a little bit tricky is that there's a negative in front of this x squared. Now what a lot of people do is as they plug negative 3 into the machine, if they don't surround that variable by parentheses, a lot of people will do change the line, change the sign. That totally affects the problem. What this really means is like a negative 1 times x squared. And according to order of operations, you always have to do the exponents first. So as I put negative 3 in for x, negative 3 squared is a positive 9, and now times negative 1 is a negative 9. So it is like 2 separate steps you have to do. You can't combine it into one piece. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18, and then just bring down the negative 4. Negative 9 plus 18 is negative 27, minus 4 is negative 31. On letter B, again, as I put negative 1 in here, remember it's like negative 1 times negative 1 squared. This is a positive 1, but then because of this negative here, it makes it back to a negative 1. 6 times negative 1 is negative 6, and then bring down your negative 4. Negative 1 minus 6 is negative 7, minus 4 is negative 11. And then letter C, again, just be really careful. You can physically write that 1 in there, that's a great idea. Don't fall for the mistake if putting 5 in for x and then saying, well, negative 5 squared is a positive 25. It is, but this doesn't say negative 5 squared. This says 5 squared, which is 25, and then you multiply it by that negative 1. So it actually is negative 25. 6 times 5 is 30, and then bring down that minus 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. I'm going to have you try the problems that I haven't demonstrated, starting with going back to number 3 and going through number 10. Please pause the video, and when you're ready, come back and check your answers with what I have up here, and then I have a little more after that. Going to number 11, it is the same kind of thing we just learned, except in the form of a story problem. And the situation is determining height of a person from different bones in their body. So when the question is asking for h of 46, that is just a matter of doing some calculations into this function here to get 168.13. But then part B says, what does this mean? And essentially what it means is the 46 that you are inputting into the machine is the length of the femur in this particular question, and the output is the height. So what does this represent? A human with a femur of 46 inches will be approximately 168.13. Sorry, not inches, that has to be centimeters tall. Finally, in number 12, you are given a graph, and you need to determine the function by looking at the graph. Now remember, what's in parentheses here is like the x value. So what this means is if the x is negative 4, so here's the x, if the x is negative 4, what is its match, or what is its y? And in this case, if the x is 4, that matches up to the dot that has a y of 2. If the x is 0, that matches up to the point where the y is also 0. When the function, or x, is at 2, that matches up to the y that is at negative 2. And last but not least, when the function is at 5, the y is at a value of negative